Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is how to use Sawk. It sounds like I'm saying sock as in footwear. Anyway, we need to get serious, guys, because Sawk is a pretty serious Pokemon. It's much more agile than Danny DeVito's spirit Pokemon, Throh. That this gives us a bit more opportunity to do some different things, and it's really interesting when we start breaking down the stats, because Sawk, much different Pokemon than Throh on many different levels. When we start looking at the movesets and all these other combos that it can do, it's going to be a lot more interesting. So Sawk isn't going to be as bulky. 75 hit points, 75 defense, 75 special defense. Depending on the moves that we're going up against, a strong neutral hit reasonably knocks out Pokemon that are in the mid-70s for defenses and hit points, so that is something we will have to be aware of. However, our trade-off is going to be 125 attack. Now, 125 attack might not seem like a lot considering Conkeldurr has more, and a lot of other Pokemon, they like to hover around the 125 or even go higher than that. However, Sawk does have close combat. Throh and Conkeldurr don't even have that move, so this kind of shows like where base powers start coming into effect. But also at the same time, we're only 85 speed, so we're not going to super outspeed everything and just crush it down, unless we like get some speed boost into us or something. But at the same time, 85 speed going to be an excellent wall breaking Pokemon, because a lot of tankier Pokemon, a lot of slower Pokemon, they hover around 85 speed or lower. If we're maxing out our 85 speed, then now we're going to be able to break down some even faster wall Pokemon or uninvested Pokemon that have around 100 speed or something like that. We're going to get in some really interesting situations, but that's what Sawk is all about. Look at its typing, pure fighting type. Pretty standard typing right now since it is monotype, really easy to understand. We have our basic weaknesses to Flying, Psychic, and Fairy, and then we have our resistances to Dark, Bug, and Rock. I didn't even look at the type chart for that. It's all these things that you just memorize over time. I guess these guides are starting to pay off. Now, instead of directly hopping to Pokemon Showdown, we're going into Bulbapedia so we can make those comparisons between Sawk and Throh. There we go, close combat. Throh doesn't get that Quick Guard. Throh has Wide Guard instead of Quick Guard, so it shows that agility that Sawk has over it. And then we also get some pretty good tutor moves that we have Elemental Punches, Knockoff, Low Kick if you don't want to worry about dropping your defenses, and Headbutt. So we can bring our coverage together, and that's also why we're going to go to PokemonDB.net before we actually go any further. So first off, it's going to be fighting. Knockoff is pretty necessary, and then whatever other moves you want to put in. As you can see, we have a lot of Fairy types here, so maybe Poison Jab. Poison Jab is going to give us the opportunity to hurt Fairy types, and then we really only have to worry about Toxicroak, so maybe we can throw in Ground, and that's going to give us a lot of super effective hits, and we're going to hit everything neutrally with this moveset. Then we can change things up. What if we don't really care about Knockoff? We don't need the utility. We just go for Ice Punch for the specifics. Well, that's going to give us a lot more super effective hits. That means if we're going up against a Flying type Pokemon, we're going to have really good coverage against them on that Ice Punch, and then we can kind of change our moveset around from there. So now we're going to hop into Pokemon Showdown, and the reason why I showed you that is because of this moveset right here. That pretty much you just want to be an incredible wall-breaking Pokemon with a little bit up its sleeve. So we run Adamant Nature, and then we max out our speed, or we can also go with Jolly. Since we are going to be using that close combat, we're getting a lot of damage down anyways, and the idea is we just want to come in with the Choice Band, come in with the coverage, and do really well. Sawk has the Sturdy ability, so this is also going to give us some nice berry combos, but for now, we can just use it as that second chance, that if we outspeed the Pokemon, we go for that one-hit KO. If it doesn't one-hit KO, then we just two-hit KO them, and we have that because of Sturdy. So let's go with like the Ice Punch, Earthquake moveset, and then Poison Jab for Fairy-type Pokemon, something like that. So this means Fairy-type Pokemon like Sylveon, generally going to be slower unless they're Scarfed, so then we can two-shot them with the Poison Jab, and then that means like, okay, they hit us with Pixelate Hyper Voice, and then we still blow them up because of back-to-back Poison Jab. Or if we come in as a Revenge Pokemon, we can even revenge certain Flying-type Pokemon. That if we were going up against Talonflame, for example, or other kind of Flying-type Pokemon, we can even carry something like Stone Edge. Stone Edge is also a move that Sawk gets access to, so again, it's all about changing it. Do you want Earthquake or not? That's where we can also have Ice Punch. That's why I opened up Pokemon DB, that if we want to change it around, okay, we take out Ice, we put in Rock. That's going to give us slightly less super effective hits, but still the same idea. We're hitting Flying-type Pokemon for super effective damage, but it is going to not give us that dragon killing potential, but however we still have close combat, which does absurd amounts of damage. So it's really all about preference or the moves that your team needs. That if you already have enough Ice type attacks on your team, if you already have enough Rock or Talonflame counters or something. I'm not saying in any way that Sawk is a Talonflame counter, but it does give you some really interesting mind games, because you bring it in, if they don't have Stealth Rocks or Spikes or any entry hazards up, you're going to be at full hit points, Sturdy is going to have the chance of activating, and now you just throw out the Stone Edge. They either feel that you're doing something crazy and they switch, so then they eat a free Stone Edge, or they think they can knock you out, they hit you, Sturdy procs, and then you trade the Talonflame, if they have a Pokemon that's slower than you, now you still get free damage on top of it. So that's just playing most of your Sturdy. Now the interesting thing about Sturdy, it's like Focus Sash. That means we get Focus Sash and Choice Band for like a 2-item synergy with this technically, and then whatever moveset with just max attack, going for the ultimate Choice Band damage. You know, Choice Band close combat is going to be enough damage to neutrally KO another Sawk, so it kind of gives you that damage range, that even up to probably base 90 hit points and 70 defenses, we're still finding it. Even uninvested 90 defenses across the board, we're going to be able to OHKO with that close combat, and that's just going to be on neutral hits. So that just shows the amount of damage that we're getting. Also, the cool thing about close combat, it lowers our defenses, which generally makes it something that's kind of tough to decide on using, but we're expecting to die anyways. So this is just going to be like the ultimate come-in, damage trading kind of Pokemon, and it does really well because of that Sturdy. You might want a Rapid Spin on your team, or something like that, Defog, just make sure the Sturdy keeps up. Now Sawk can also be a bit riskier and do a lot of really cool things with Salac Berry as well. Sturdy, we've already talked this whole combo to death. That you either have a Pokemon with Endure, you have a Pokemon with Sturdy, you have a berry like Salac Berry or Custat Berry, but the reason why I mention it so much is because it gives a lot of different Pokemon viability. That with Sawk, we can use Salac Berry. All we have to do is go Jolly Nature, max out the speed, and that's going to be at 295. So if we have the Salac Berry proc, we're getting a lot of speed, and to a degree, we can also keep that Adamant Nature. So we're still going to get some good outspeeds. I would just prefer to outspeed everything. We'll beat out other Scarf Pokemon, we'll beat out the fastest of the fast Pokemon, and then we play off of Reversal. More power, the less hit points the user has left. So Sturdy Reversal, incredible combo right here. So the idea is we take that super hit, you know, we just survive at 1 hit point, Salac Berry procs, now we're fast, and we still have our turn. That for that turn, we're just going throughout the Reversal. The next Pokemon your opponent brings in, if they don't have priority, you just KO them with Reversal, because we're getting 200 base power, and then we're also getting Stab, so that's going to boost us 300 base power, and then we still have a high amount of attack. That's why, you know, with the Adamant, you're going to find a little bit extra on those KOs. That boosting the 125 base stat is going to give you more stat points than boosting the 85. So it's all just preference after that. And then we can also have whatever other moves we want. Knock Off, Poison Jab, you know, the Fairy Killing's nice. We have like Ice Punch and Stone Edge. Now, Ice Punch isn't going to be a good move in this situation because 75 base power super effective is 150. Reversal being resisted is 150. So I would just go with the Stone Edge, that way we're getting that extra damage, we're making sure it happens. We do have to be aware of that 80% accuracy. Don't throw out the Stone Edge on a Flying type Pokemon if you know Reversal is going to KO anyway, just kind of something to consider. And then Close Combat. Close Combat is for the bulkier Pokemon, that if you outspeed a tank, you get to use Close Combat, bring it down really low, or maybe even knock it out, and then if they kind of get redemption damage on you, that's when Sturdy activates, then you can go into Reversal. So Close Combat just going to kind of make it easier to make sure that that Sturdy procs, that if you're going faster than your opponent, you're lowering your defenses, and then it's just going to be really easy to one-shot you from there, and then your combo goes off. So that's just things to consider. Instead of your Earthquake, whatever moves you want to put in can really work. Like I said, Sawk does have a good amount of move diversity, and you just kind of play it to fit in what your team needs. So in doubles, this Sawk works out pretty well. Sturdy might not be as reliable if you get hit by 2 Pokemon, so you need to support it with Fake Out, but you also have access to Quick Guard. So it's this really powerful support Pokemon if you think about it, because okay, they have a Talonflame, they have some kind of priority. Now you're spamming Quick Guard from the side, so Talonflame's not going to be able to touch you unless they start throwing out like Flare Blitz or something, and then your other Pokemon can be getting damage or setup, and then when you do get hit, then Sturdy proc Salac Berry activates, and then you just become a sweeper. And also, since your weakness is going to be priority moves, then that means you throw out the Quick Guard if you sense priority. If you don't, then you just use Reversal and you start throwing out KOs. So you go from support to sweeper real quick in just one turn, and then your other Pokemon can still be a very high damage threat as well. And then again, Fairy Killing, item removal. Against Psychic type Pokemon, Knockoff is really good because it's super effective damage that's doing bonus damage. It just gets into ridiculous amounts of damage when we deal with Knockoff on Psychic types. So that is something to consider, and that is how you use Sawk. So a bit more diverse on the offensive front. That with Throh, we just have like a lot of tanky gimmick setups, but with Sawk, we can maybe get that Salac Berry Sturdy going, and really cool things happen. So if you guys enjoyed the video, that's how you use Sawk, and I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.